Are you good? You looked like you didn't even know what we were doing for a second there.
Yeah, I mean, I would never try to pretend that I know what's going on. We're recording?
Yeah.
Every week starts with me being a jackass because I don't realize we're recording.
Should I stop doing that? Or?
No, it's fantastic.
Okay.
It's probably the best. That's probably the only part of me talking that people enjoy.
How do you do? We're about to unfold the story of
the son of Frankenstein.
This one's probably just as bad as his father.
Oh, good morning, son.
My son, you have inherited the fortune of the Frankensteins. We trust you will not inherit their fate.
Frankenstein.
By heaven, I think you're a worse fool than your father.
Yes.
What are you going to do about it? There's a monster afoot and you know it.
Nobody can
Well, we warned you.
You've been warned. Welcome back to Frankenstein Minute, the podcast that dissects the Universal Frankenstein film series minute by minute. I'm Bill Evenson.
This should be a video because your gestures were priceless.
I got this.
That was great. And I'm Thom Lang, and you join us for minute, what the hell is this, 37 of 1939's Son of Frankenstein.
37 of 39.
From Universal Pictures.
37 of 39. We're almost done.
We're almost there. 2 more to go, folks.
That's it. We wrap this up.
On to Ghost of Frankenstein.
I might want to check my math, but it sounds right.
It sounds like we're there.
I'm Thom Lang. You said...
I did say
that.
that.
Oh, okay. Hi, Thom Lang.
Hi, Bill Evenson.
So we've got this minute. What happens in this minute is just more block and tackle.
More of the same.
Hoist on a roller track. And it really looks like they've asked Basil Rathbone to take care of this. It looks like he's doing the actual work of getting the chain where it needs to be.
Yeah. He's doing all the blocking that they've given him. Is that what you're saying?
I just mean, like, I think he's literally
doing
the way that
he's
Boris
actually,
Karloff gets put on the thing is that Basil Rathbone has got the chain and he's got to push it on.
I think so, because he pulls him across the track.
He does that too, yeah. Last week
laterally over to the inclined table.
Right.
Yeah. Now this week, he kind of pushes. They both sort of push him back onto the table.
Yeah, I was going to say before that, he's doing stuff with the chain. He's looking
hard.
Down. He's doing some work.
Working hard.
And Bela's got his hand on the chain that I don't know how much people want us to go into how a block and tackle works, but I don't understand it exactly. But the point of it is, it's sort of about, some of it is about slack, and some of it is about the angle, and some of it is about having multiple pulleys to make sure that you're not pulling that entire weight.
Yeah, what it does is, it allows you to hoist much more weight than you could just pulling on a pulley.
Right. And for some reason, Bela's got his hand on this sort of slack chain to make sure, it doesn't get, I don't know. And so that's all happening. They put him down, and then, like you say, they push him. But what's great about it is the first thing that happens once the slab... You didn't expect we'd talk this much about this.
I got nothing to... I'm just going to let you go.
Once the slab is on the ground again, or I assume...
Presumably on the floor, yeah.
On the floor, Igor pushes directly on the monster's chest. Yeah. So if Karloff had any remaining feeling that he isn't just a prop in this film,
it's gone.
This seals the deal. He's being pushed there. He's pushing directly on his chest. Like, I have so much affection for this film, but I wonder if Lugosi got a kick out of that in some.
Well, that's the
capacity.
There's a little bit of satisfaction in him pushing Karloff around for a change.
And again,
not that Karloff pushed him around in any way.
Good point. Good point.
I think Karloff was nothing but gracious his entire life.
I knew what you meant, and that is good. I'm glad you said that, because absolutely, there's no indication that was ever the case. And
I don't even think Lugosi resented Karloff as much as it's been made out.
Right.
Because most of that comes from his widow, who was axe grinding the minute he died till the minute she died, was bad-mouthing everybody in the universe except Bela Lugosi. And Mank, unfortunately, takes her word as gospel truth.
Well, this is the problem with a lot of this, is historians have a methodology that they use to establish, to try to understand what the truth of something is.
Like you said,
believe it's called
establish a narrative.
historiography, where contemporary accounts are given more weight than later accounts. Every account has to be analyzed for bias.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so you've got Bela Lugosi's widow, and just the fact that she's his widow means it's post 50 what?
Yeah, 56.
58, 56.
I think
so already you got
her,
problems. You got multiple problems with these accounts already.
Yep. And I think he was talking to her late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
So some time has already passed. She wasn't there for this, and all she's doing is either putting her spin on what Bela has told her, or I think just putting her spin. Period.
Yep. Yeah. And
I don't know for sure that there was this rivalry quote.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, and I'm sure Bela was a little bitter about what had happened to his career, but I mean, he really honestly had nobody to blame but himself for that.
You've also got what we both agree I believe is a fantastic film, Ed Wood.
Yep.
Which has the great I forgot his fucking name. He won the Oscar for that film. Martin Landau. Karloff? Sidekick?
Yeah.
Fuck you!
Yeah, see, I mean,
that kind of stuff is great, and
it's great.
You can't.
The writers have said, no, that's all
it's
just made up.
Fantastic. It's a fantastic thing to embrace.
It works for the film,
narrative. Yeah. The other part of it is the history also has an additional problem, which is the studio system and how people handled the media back then. You don't get an impression from any of the interviews that are contemporary to this time period that they're honest. Right?
You don't often even get the impression that they're the person that's supposedly saying it.
That's true. If you read it in print, Bela said this. He probably wasn't even there.
More often than not, the studio publicity.
Yeah.
Well, that article that I gave you last time from Castle of Frankenstein, and they asked him about some name.
There it is. You pointed. I did. That's
right there. Some name that is your name William Henry Pratt or like Charles Montgomery or something that I've never heard of. And he's like, I have no idea where that came from. It must have been a studio piece.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. So you do get a little, there's so many different, like I said, so many different biases. We're not left with a complete picture.
No, not at all.
Bela had every reason to look back on his life. So when he married whatever her name was,
Lillian.
It was the end of his life. He probably had every reason to look back and maybe remember things badly.
Bitterly,
He didn't turn out well for him.
No.
He had made a lot of decisions financially that didn't turn out well for him.
Right. Yeah,
and Boris Karloff had made a lot of great decisions
that worked out really well for him.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, so with all of that said, Bela pushing on Boris's inert body like it's a part of the slab
metaphor
is sort of very...
Yeah.
And it's especially so here, where hands down Bela's best film, best performance.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I
should say best performance. People can argue about best film, but this absolutely best performance.
Yeah.
And again, we've said it before, and I want to make sure we say it as often as we can. Adds to this film. He elevates this
immeasurably.
film.
Like we talk about, he's not in the script, and it suffers for that.
Yes.
That the character's not there. I mean, it suffers for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
But that's a major one.
Yeah. One of the things I try to do when preparing for this podcast, and people will be surprised to hear I prepare for this podcast, but I do. One of the things I try to do is go back to that script, and my God.
Yeah, I've done it, but I'm just like, I'm not even going to...
I'm going to continue to try.
I'm not going to quote from it because it's just...
Well, the good news there is I know you don't care for that generally when we quote from the
most
script.
Podcasts, I don't... If somebody's reading something, I lose interest quickly.
Yeah, but in this case, it's... now I'm picturing you editing all this.
Think about the end of the episode.
The good news is it doesn't apply, so there's not a lot to talk about. When I tried to look at the script to see, is there anything about these minutes that we're recording today that applies? It's just nothing has anything to do with anything.
There's no analog to this sequence at all.
You get a pretty good look at the monster's makeup here. You mentioned it last week, and I do love it, and I want to make sure I say...
it's the last time till House of Frankenstein that Jack Pierce did a really great Frankenstein monster makeup. The next two films, I think it looks shoddy. Part of the problem is the actors that it's on, it does not fit their faces at all. But, this is rubber. It's a rubber piece. There's photos of it, him holding the piece and painting it, or, pulling a Bud Westmore where he's supposedly painting on it. Pierce did not
Pulling a Bud Westmore?
Oh, Bud Westmore was famous for pretending that he did all the work because he was the head of the makeup department from 46 on when it became Universal International. And, he took credit for all this stuff, and he didn't apparently know shit. He could do a good beauty makeup, but that was about it. Like, he claimed credit for the creature from the Black Lagoon. It's one of the best looking monsters of all time. And he had very little input in it. It was a woman named Millicent Patrick designed it, and Chris Muller and I forget his name. They did the sculpting, and Westmore was the department head. He, signed the checks basically.
I read all about it in that book that Tom Weaver didn't write.
Right.
That he wrote.
Did you? Did you
no, I never.
that?
Well, Barsky's got one for like 100 and something.
Yeah, I bought it when it first came out, so I got lucky. It was like $30, and now it's if you can find one at all, it's hundreds because it got pulled because of the plagiarism.
Really, just want to point people to the Classic Horror Film Board thread where you've got
yeah, that's great.
The guy who quote unquote wrote this book about the creature from the Black Lagoon.
It's called Features from the Black Lagoon.
Features from the Black Lagoon. So he covers all 3 creature films, and Tom Weaver is on the board, and the author is on the board. And Tom Weaver gets the book, and he just starts posting extensive quotes from the book and what he wrote about it in different articles.
Different articles, and I think also in the Magic Image.
Okay, sure, that makes sense.
A lot of it comes from there.
And it's just, I don't know, if you like uncomfortable humor, if you like Curb Your Enthusiasm, just watching somebody sweat, basically. People just going on and on about this, and Weaver himself is very dignified. He comes across very well in that thread. He's just posting this stuff to the point where the guy who claims to be the author of this book thinks that they're buddies, that it's all is forgiven at one point. And it's like, no, you're not reading the room, buddy. You're not reading this at all. To the point where
McFarlane
pulls the book. Yeah. It's just a rip.
Well, I read it. I got it and read it right away.
And it probably reads great.
It reads great, and I'm like, wait a minute.
It's a Tom Weaver book.
Wait a minute. This all sounds, a lot of it, like, this sounds so familiar. So I went back and checked the Magic Image book, and sure enough, some of it is like paragraph after paragraph verbatim.
Well, he never, looking at that thread, it doesn't look like he ever does a verbatim, but he changes a word here or there. It's like there'll be 100 words and he'll change 2. Yeah,
it is as close to verbatim as you can.
And he also comes across as a guy, totally comes across as a guy who has no idea that this is a problem.
That this is, something
like, this is my source. Yeah. This is how you write a book. I don't know anything about Creature from the Black Lagoon. I have to learn it from somewhere, so I learned it from here. So I'll type that up, and that's my book.
And I think some of it came from Wikipedia or something.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I forgot about that part. Yeah, that's true. What a great way to write.
Yeah, no kidding.
Copy and paste from Wikipedia.
Copy and paste from Wikipedia and IMDb.
It's so bad sometimes.
That's really awful.
You get a pretty good look at. That's the other thing.
Speaking of the Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yes.
Just quickly, when we were at Universal.
We have time.
When we were at Universal, we did the backlot tour.
Is that a pen, or did you bring a vape?
Yeah,
I thought you were going to vape some of those.
I'm going to light up. It's my cigarette holder.
Because you just came back from California. I thought maybe you were going to vape.
I was going to share the wealth.
Nice. Might improve the podcast.
Might. No, we drove past the Black Lagoon itself.
Oh, okay.
Cool. It's on the lot there, and usually they have.
It's on the lot.
Oh yeah.
I guess I knew that.
And it was used for like Gilligan's Island as the lagoon. Yeah. It's been in McHale's Navy, all these things, and then so later when we were at the gift shop, they had a framed photo of Julie Adams and the creature, and she had signed it. And my friend John bought it for me because he loves me.
That's adorable.
Isn't that adorable?
How much was it?
I will not say. It was a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's one of
She's still around?
No, she died just a few years ago, unfortunately. But apparently she was spry and lovely till the very end.
You know what I wonder about the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and I'm going to show my ignorance. Was there any kind of... you had to hold your breath to be in that suit. There wasn't
underwater.
Any oxygen or anything.
Underwater. Yeah, they had a fellow by the name of Rico Browning.
Yeah,
who played him underwater. Who was famous for being able to hold his breath for long periods of time. He worked at a resort in Florida where they shot the underwater stuff because the water was exceptionally clear. And they cast because he was hired initially to just show him around as like a location scout. And it got around that this guy is pretty amazing. He can hold it. So they said, well, would you like to play the creature underwater? And so he did. But apparently it was not an easy task.
Well, I mean, just picturing it for myself personally, if you wanted me to just... It happens a lot in movies where an actor is asked to hold their breath underwater for however many seconds or however long a typical shot is. And I can imagine that I would be just fine at that. I could hold my breath for 10 seconds if you needed me to.
We'll do it.
But,
Let's see.
So you want me to pass out, hit my head, do a Bob Saget, and then the rest is...
Too soon.
No.
Too soon.
Oh, no.
Terrible.
He did a Bob Saget.
Terrible thing.
But put me in a fucking
big
creature from the
suit.
Black Lagoon suit, and I can hold my breath for about
0 seconds.
I don't even think I could wear the suit.
It's
If
funny
you said
'cause-
get in the water, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going to get all the way in the water.
My feet? Yeah.
I'll dip my toes in.
Yeah, we walked by on Hollywood Boulevard. There was this costume place, and they had a creature suit in there. And I'm not even going to go in and see what that costs because I'll end up going home with it. So,
I'm not a creature guy.
I know you're not. I
fine,
am. I just disagree with lumping them in with all the 30s and 40s.
Yeah,
because it's such a different era.
I'll have more to say about that in the coming weeks.
Perfect.
What a great segue to something that's not happening right now.
Yep.
But you get a look at the monster's makeup, and I think he looks great. I feel like we're ogling him. We're getting, like, there's the shot.
It's sort of a lovingly lit, and
Yeah.
he looks great. I mean, Karloff at this point is, I think, at his heaviest.
Okay, that seems to
And
work.
He looks it, but and I flip flop on the costume and makeup in this film all the time. Sometimes I absolutely love it. Other times, like, that doesn't work at all. I do think the forehead piece is a little too tall.
You've said that, yeah.
Because it's a good inch and a half taller than the previous one.
As you say that, and as we go and watch these minutes as we're doing a podcast on it.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm doing it, but I think that's why.
Okay.
I just don't. It doesn't bother me. Okay. I think what's weird is what I find more striking and I'm tempted to say off-putting is in Bride when he's all burnt up. That one is the one that makes me go like, wow, that's really weird looking. It doesn't look right because he's all burnt up. I don't know why. That's just my maybe I didn't realize that when I first watched it.
That he was
burnt or something. That I didn't get the point of why he looked like that.
Okay.
This film to me is a big part of my personal Frankenstein history. This is what the monster looks like. So I don't see that. I just really don't.
Okay. No,
yeah,
I
especially maybe not from this angle.
Well,
but you get this weird angle of we can see the top of his head, which looks absurd. It looks like someone has, he's got a weird colic. They've tried to like comb his hair out.
He's got like a Mo Howard cut.
He's got like a Mo Howard going. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I come from it obviously from a very different perspective than you do. And when I was a kid, we had the Aurora little model kits.
Yeah.
And the action figures, and those were all sculpted after Bride. So that was all over the place. So
and
that
so you,
was
as a kid, you thought about the fact that he was burnt.
Yes.
His hair was burnt off. Basically. Well, and he's got a burnt face.
He's got burnt. He's got a scar on his cheek. He's got, you see the clamps that were where the skin was burned away.
Yeah.
It is a different design.
Yeah.
The shape of his head is different.
Yeah.
Because in Frankenstein, it's a lot more subtle. I mean, you can see the difference there to there to there. I'm pointing at pictures on the wall that's really helpful to the listeners.
Oh, I see there. Okay. Actually, that's there you go. The Bride one to me looks like, you tell me that the Son of Frankenstein headpiece is I'm saying headpiece.
Yeah, that's about
is taller. It doesn't even look taller than Bride to me. It looks the same.
I think what you're seeing is the hair that's combed over it.
Yeah,
the bangs.
it could be.
But it is
the bangs. What else would you call it? You're right.
Yeah,
it's just funny.
the bangs.
It's funny to refer to the monster's bangs. Someone's cutting the monster's hair, right?
Well, it's Igor.
I guess Igor.
He does things for me, so
I cut his hair.
In return.
Yes.
They said.
No,
I forgot. Oh, and I'm sculpting these things, so I've intimately looked at all these features. So there.
The monster's head is propped up on something. There's some sort of
there's some, like a block underneath that keeps his head up.
It
does not look comfortable.
It doesn't look comfortable or natural.
No.
When they push the slab back, or I guess its slab is still on the whatever. When they push it back, his head should disappear. You should see his chin.
But
no, he's still up.
And I think that's why, so that he remains visible.
Yeah.
And so you don't just see the underside of his chin.
Yeah.
It's
awkward when you're watching it. You notice it. You're like, oh my god, that's not.
And here's
normal.
a man who has had back trouble since 1931, forced to lie in this position for a long time. That can't have been easy.
I'm, knock on wood. The sound of the knock on wood can only mean one thing.
It's Igor's neck.
It's Igor's neck. Igor's neck update. The
Still broken.
I haven't had any back problems. Every once in a while I have just the slightest back problem. I'm like, oh, here we go. This is the rest of my life now.
It's only a matter of time. I gotta tell you.
Well, knock on wood again.
Don't bend down to pick up a twig that your dog brought.
To me,
in the
that
house,
seems like
that was mine.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I bent down to pick up a twig and couldn't stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been
Jackie. I'm trying to remember what she said she did. Like stood up or walked up the stairs.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't.
She's
take
in the hospital
anything.
for a week and needed surgery.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Oof.
It really doesn't.
It's like Bob Saget, but with the back.
There again.
But I guess what my point is, this doesn't look that uncomfortable to me. It looks like it would be actually a plus to have something like
something under your head.
Something under your head, and later there's more.
The camera tracks in. We get a really nice upskirt shot of the monster.
Upskirt. Jesus Christ. I actually wrote crotch shot.
Oh yeah. Either way.
Here's what I wrote: crotch shot - little Boris. We don't get to see little Boris. It's not a tight fitting.
No, it's not not like the Mummy where it's obvious he was the best swordsman in Hollywood.
There you go. So this is not the film. Ladies,
yes.
This film is not the sorry ladies. This is not the film where you get to see
his package.
Sorry, Felicity, if there are any other ladies that might be looking.
You don't see Boris's package.
Yeah, it's not good. It's an interesting series in that respect. There's no real. Oh, that's right. What am I saying? There were some love. The bride was lovely in the last one.
She was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay, then mercifully, there's a lap dissolve ending this sequence.
Mercifully.
Yeah. And we see
lap dissolve. Interesting choice of words.
Considering what we were just talking about.
Dissolve from Boris's lap
to Wolf and Benson approaching the lab.
Yeah. So Benson looks over the edge of the thing for a second. What do you make of that? What is going on?
I'm guessing it's the first time Wolf has brought him out there. So he's a little nervous.
Yeah.
And just kind of.
He's like, oh, that's a precipice.
That's a drop.
No one else seems to care.
Yeah.
Ever.
No.
It's just normal.
Well,
He's skittish.
Yeah, well, he is, because we'll see that.
He's a skittish fella.
He's a nervous sort of guy. Igor is nice enough to open the door for them.
That is nice of him to do that.
Well,
he's good at that. He
does that a lot. Yeah, he's
actually he opens more doors in this film.
They should have called him Stanley.
He opens. Jesus Christ. He opens more doors in this film, I think, than anybody.
Yeah.
Because he opens a little door.
Yeah.
He opens two doors at once to look through the door.
And later on, he opens some big thing in the castle. We'll see too. The mystery shot that's been added.
Oh yeah, kind of forget about that one.
He pushes Benson out.
So this is what I was saying about speed the other day. You were saying nothing happens fast in this movie, and that might apply here too. But the speed and just everything about the way this plays out is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Wolf walks in carrying a box. Lugosi takes whatever his name is, the guy playing Benson.
Edgar Norton.
He pushes Edgar Norton. He takes his hand and puts it directly on his chest and pushes him backwards.
Exactly like he did to the monster earlier.
Well, there you go. But in this case, Norton reacts exactly the way a person would, almost as if he didn't realize it was going to go down the way it did. Yeah. Lugosi goes, no! And it's perfect. And if you watch this over and over again, like I have in preparation for this, what I'm saying is I want to do this to somebody someday. Like have, like say a dinner party where you invite a couple over and maybe you like one of the people in the couple better than the other. Basically, I want to have Jane and Steve over, and then Jane, you say, "Oh, it's so lovely to see you. Thank you." And she comes in, and then Steve, you just no, and push his ass out the door. Yep.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's do that.
All right. Cannot come in here.
Igor's voice seems a little different to me.
It's a little gravelier or something, a little harsher.
So you notice it doesn't seem to match. It's like maybe this one was filmed first, or
yeah, it's a little rougher than usual.
Yeah,
I thought.
But I like what's going on
because the next line he has especially sounds that way.
Which is, I mean, look.
Rathbone tap dances around. Well, you want me to make him well again? I need this guy to take my notes. He's been with me forever. He's the greatest guy in the world.
Well, wait a minute. None of that has happened yet. That's next week. This ends with.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, but he does say, "What's the matter with you? What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And Igor says, "Cannot come in here." No one. You know, I get his point. But one of the things it points out to me was something that I was thinking about last week when we talked about the block and tackle hoist on the roller track.
Yes.
Is a lot of work has been done here. They've done a ton of work to get this to where we're at, and no one has been here.
Right.
We joked about it a few weeks ago when they were in the courtroom. What did we call that? City council?
The council chambers.
That they're like, the servants are helping, and we made a joke about Igor and
Amelia and Benson.
Amelia and Benson.
Hoisting stuff around.
There you go.
Yeah.
This clearly, everything that's been done to prepare all of this has been done by Igor and Wolf. Because apparently. Igor is outraged. He is incensed by the sight of someone.
The only difference could be that now the monster is in the lab and visible, whereas before it wouldn't have been.
Ah, that's an interesting point.
So it could
the hoist, all of that could have been put in by contractors.
Yeah, they had no idea what's
villagers.
going on. No idea what's going on.
Yeah, we're going to do some work on the car. There is a car in this movie. We saw it.
Hans Stubel from Craig Hill saw it all going on.
What are they doing? Some automotive work. It looks like some automotive repairs.
Yeah.
They got a hoist. It seems pretty straightforward.
There's a hole in the floor for oil change. It all looks on the up and up.
Maybe just an oil change.
It looks on the up and up to me.
That's why this movie happens, because everybody thought it looked fine. Except the guy. He's
still standing. I saw him last month standing in.
You know who that is? That's the car repair guy in town. He thinks there's some competition.
He's pissed off that there's going to be some competition. He's still standing there in the Court of Miracles shouting.
Did you see him when you were there?
Yeah, if you listen carefully on a warm summer night.
So Wolf says, "You want me to make him well," and there's no reaction whatsoever.
Yeah,
and then,
Igor does nothing.
Nothing at all. And then
all right, fine then.
Very well then. But I love that, because I really believe that that's Igor's character. He says, "You want me to make him well?" And if Igor said anything, it would kind of ruin it. Like if he went, "Well, yeah, I want my friend back," it would be kind of a pussy thing. It would be out of character for Igor. So what he says, he just stands there, because he's a badass.
He is a badass.
Igor's a badass, and we love Igor.
Yes.
This week's graphic from Doc Ivan is...
I'm cutting that out.
Yeah, cut that part out. But we love Igor here at Frankenstein Minute. We love our listeners. Oh, you got a lot of cards left?
Do we want to do this? Because
I want to do this. Is this all Edgar Norton?
No, this is Hans J. Salter. Since we did Frank Skinner last week, we'll do Hans J. Salter.
Fantastic.
Born January 14th, 1896 in Vienna, Austria-Hungary.
In 18 what?
1896.
So this is 1939. Okay, I'm just trying to get I always, whenever I hear, anybody over in that part of the world in that time period, I always want to figure out where Hitler is.
Yeah, I'm sure he came here to get rid of that.
You'll have to fill me in on the cards. But
that I don't know, but...
Hitler is a 30s sensation over there.
He is.
He's like the Beatles of Nazi Germany.
There's a quote from...
I'm sorry.
Quote from David Bowie that, Hitler was the first pop star.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Wasn't his politics.
Well, I mean, he was a beautiful specimen. Look at him. My God,
gorgeous.
Who doesn't want to fuck Hitler?
Look like that guy. He died July 23rd, 1994 in Los Angeles at the age of 98.
Jesus Christ.
Good for him.
Yeah. I hope.
Most of his career, like Frank Skinner and Joseph Gershenson, was spent at Universal.
Good.
The two of them frequently collaborated, so there'll be a lot of crossover. Invisible Man Returns, Black Friday, Mummy's Hand, A Man-Made Monster, The Black Cat 41, Hold That Ghost, The Wolfman, Ghost of Frankenstein, Strange Case of Dr. R.X., Mystery of Marie Roget, Invisible Agent, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, Son of Dracula with Harry Nielsen and Ringo Starr.
No.
Spider-Woman, Invisible Man's Revenge.
Well, I mean, he was around in 60 whatever for Son of Frankenstein.
He could have been
Son of Dracula.
I thought it was like 72 or something.
I guess it would be.
House of Frankenstein, Scarlet Street, 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it?
No.
Dr. Seuss wrote it and designed it.
Okay. How's the music? Outstanding, top notch.
Creature from the Black Lagoon. See, now it all comes back.
Oh, see?
Yeah, very famous score. Although he didn't write all of it. I know Henry Mancini, one of his early things.
Collaborations with Hans Salter.
Yeah, This Island Earth.
Is that the one, or the one before that?
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Mancini worked on that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought then you said This Island Earth. I think
he might have worked on that too. I don't know.
Is that interesting? Yeah. Okay.
Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, The Mole People, Incredible Shrinking Man, The Land Unknown, and the immortal The Leech Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Served as a music director.
The Leech Woman.
On a lot more.
I think I used to date the Leech Woman.
Yeah.
That was not good.
Serves as musical director on Tower of London, Black Friday, Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe, which again is a misnomer.
That's true.
Mummy's Hand, One Night in the Tropics.
I'm not even disputing that Flash Gordon conquered the universe. I just think if you're going to call your movie that, he should do that.
He should actually do that in the, yeah. Man-Made Monster, Horror Island, Hold That Ghost, Mad Doctor of Market Street, Pardon My Sarong, Sherlock Holmes, The Voice of Terror, Night Monster, Mummy's Tomb, Who Done It, Keep 'Em Flying, Captive Wild Woman.
I've heard all of these last week.
Sherlock Holmes Faces Death.
Okay.
Calling Dr. Death, Weird Woman, Scarlet Claw, Jungle Woman, Mummy's Ghost, Frozen Ghost, Woman in Green, Jungle Captive, House of Horrors, The Cat Creeps, Valley of the Zombies, Dress to Kill. Bud Abbott, Lou Costello meet the killer Boris Karloff. They also meet the Invisible Man and Jekyll and Hyde, Black Castle, Revenge of the Creature, Creature Walks Among Us, Earth versus Flying Saucers, which is not a Universal but is a Ray Harryhausen. Also 20 Million Miles to Earth, which is another Ray Harryhausen.
My God, we should do that 7, what is it called? 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, 7 Degrees,
7 degrees of Hans
Salter.
J. Salter.
Thing That Couldn't Die, Monster on the Campus, First Spaceship on Venus.
There's a lot of Mystery Science Theater in here.
Yeah, King Kong versus Godzilla. A lot of his music was used in the American version. There's actual Creature from the Black Lagoon cues that are used in it. Yeah. Human Duplicators, Mutiny in Outer Space, and The Attack of the Slime People. Speaking of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
The Attack of the Slime People?
Yeah.
I don't recognize
that. That might have been
actually.
one of the KTMA episodes.
Oh, maybe it is.
I know I've seen it, so it was probably one of the local ones.
As fans of these movies, I think it's interesting to hear about how much these guys got used, and presumably because they were able to produce in a short period of time,
yeah, they could produce quickly,
cheaply.
Yeah, they were, they were
fucking fantastic.
They were an employee. They did their job.
Yep.
Was it Skinner or Salter? One of the two talks about, for this film in particular, pulling like a 50-hour stretch where one of them, Skinner would compose while Salter slept.
Oh, I had heard that.
And then Salter would do the arranging while Skinner slept, and they would just flip-flop till it was done. Because it was such a fast, because Lee puttered around shooting so long that, they had a hard release date that they had to meet.
So every moment that Lee spent pointing a camera at Lugosi, and we'll have more to say about that in coming weeks, was another moment that Salter and Skinner had to wait to get the footage because they couldn't really work on
they
it
probably
presumably the themes,
I think they probably had some of the stuff,
the melodies,
whatever.
We are on Patreon now, so we have this thing on Patreon where what you can do is you can give us money, and we like money. We
like
don't
money.
mind it. It's fine.
I'm not ashamed to admit it.
It helps us to offset our costs of having to
which are insurmountable.
Yeah, well, we bought this. We bought the original Creature from the Black Lagoon costume. I don't know what we're gonna do with that, but that's fine.
I'm wearing it right now. As a matter of fact.
It's making everything awkward. But I gotta say, with COVID, it's kind of nice to see that your face is completely covered,
masked,
and just looking at you generally.
Yeah.
Good night, folks. See you next week.
They said